And you know, for the last 10 years, I have pretty much been 7 days a week here in the new home office that is not so new anymore in Monaco, just talking about everything from giving you the latest news and sports and talking current events and, you know, some opinionated stuff that we tie in everything to my appearances on KDK Radio, where I have been since the mid-'80s. But yesterday, and I've been doing a lot of thinking about this picture since I got it, a friend of mine, truly, if you could say a best friend, he is that, Mark Nemisak, who since the age of 5, we have been very close, and throughout our lives and everything that we've gone through, the ups and downs on this roller coaster ride, we have been side by side, his family and my family. And obviously time has separated us for a number of reasons, but in the end, we're still close. So he sends me a picture of a young man who, like us, is not so young anymore, but looks great, Terry Francona, who happens to be that baseball manager in Cleveland. Well, Terry Francona matriculated from New Brighton High School and had a great collegiate career, went to the pros and did pretty well for himself, but is really known for what I believe a Hall of Fame managerial career. You know, some World Series titles with those Boston Red Sox, and now in Cleveland doing an incredible job as well. You know, Terry Francona, I have great memories of going to his friend who lived next door, who I happened to talk to as well yesterday, Bruce Swartzel, you know, swimming in their pool and just seeing Terry out there always swinging a bat and playing catch with his legendary father Tito Francona, just because of the love of the game, right? Well, I just want to say this, as much as Terry Francona meant so much to all of us, including me, for everything, and not just what he did on the baseball diamond, but he just was a quality guy from a great family, his beautiful sister, his late mom, and obviously his late father. They mean a lot to me. But that guy, Mark Nemisak, I was just thinking today, because it's just one of those summer days and I've been working here in the home office and getting ready to hit the road, and some of the same places that I was 50 some years ago I will see on my way out on the highway today. And you know, I was talking to Bruce Swartzel yesterday, his lovely wife, obviously his family, his mom, his late father, his brother. They were a big part of my childhood too. You know, I talk about the original Brighton boys from Branson Heights, but as we got older and got into junior high and high school, you start to kind of venture out outside that territory and you get to know people from your hometown. And New Brighton really is truly one of the most incredible places in the world. And you know, for years, because I was never in New Brighton, I was always working and traveling and doing things, I kind of lost sight of what my hometown really meant to me and why it truly will always be my hometown. But because of the pandemic and everything that we've gone through in recent years, I have kind of spent more time driving through that town and visiting people and getting caught up. And with the price of gasoline, let's face it, you got to be a little bit more frugal the older you get. I'm not putting in the gallons or the time or the wear and tear on the treads as far as those tires by driving very far when I'm not at KDK Radio working here in the home office. So I've really got to reconnect with some of the most amazing places that really meant so much to me, where my grandparents spent time and where I spent time, my childhood neighborhood, and people that I haven't seen or talked to in years. It has been a very unique time for your Pratt Pack, but it's given me a lot of time to think. And it gets back to my original point. Mark Nemisak, as great as Terry Francona was, and looking at that picture, I got to tell you, Mark Nemisak was always my hero. He could do anything with a baseball, a football, and even a basketball, and he truly was one of the coolest guys ever. Going back to his days playing football for the Fighting Irish of St. Joe's, which is now Our Lady of the Valley Peace, but also just watching him matriculate and grow up and being side by side, and the night that he kind of left the neighborhood and went off to school, and how we reconnected after and spent a lot of nights going to these various dance clubs and hanging out and just enjoying life. And now a little older, sitting on the porch at his home in New Brighton or visiting one of those watering holes that I love that we haven't been at in a very long time, just talking sports and catching up with people. Mark Nemisak was a hero to me, just like Terry Francona is to many. And Terry, just to give you an idea why he has never lost that whole thought process as far as his hometown, Mark was at this game and he simply said, "Hey, T," as we affectionately called him, and T basically turned around in that crowded dugout, stepped up and looked up and he said, "Hey, I thought that was you." And then obviously they took the picture, and they're going to try to reconnect later this summer. But know this, Terry Francona and his trips to the Brighton hot dog shop, as we all did, and our memories of just growing up. And I must tell you, playing catch with the Nemisak family in their backyard, how I spent summer after summer, and listening to our Pirates on KDK Radio were truly the best years of my life. And I always try to look at the positive through the negative. And as bad as it has been these last almost 3 years, how we've all been kind of sealed up away from the rest of the world, it's given me a lot of time to think. And getting out of the office for like an hour or two to grab a cup of coffee, something to eat, and to visit that hometown that my friend Bruce Schwartzel, my friend Mark Nemisak, his brother David, and so many others will tell you, truly is one of the most incredible places that anybody could ever spend their childhood and young adult life, and now at that stage in our life. You know, the old saying is, click your heels 3 times and say there's no place like home. And I guarantee you, if Terry Francona were at my side right now, or Mark Nemisak, or Bruce Schwartzel, or any of these names that mean a lot to us here watching this locally, they would be the first to agree with me. So remember, hometown is special, and so are your hometown teams. And speaking of our Pirates, they take on Arizona tonight a little after 7, PNC Park, 1-800-5-BUCKS. Get to the ballpark, best ballpark in America. And of course, the game on 93.7 The Fan and those Coons Quality Food Sports Reports coming your way tomorrow morning and Sunday morning at 5:15 a.m. and every half hour up until 7:45 a.m. And of course, the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. And speaking of Coons Market, 8 great locations to serve you. And we got one right here in Beaver County, and it is in Hopewell. And remember, the Coons Market, Banksville Road, McKnight Road Cafe. You got to enjoy a cold brew like Pittsburgh Brewing's Iron City, or of course, Icy Light or Miller Lite. It's your Pratt Pack. Have a great rest of the day from the home office